Hey, happy Sunday, although it's kind of almost over. We're kind of more than halfway into Black History Month. And I noticed that the celebration of Black History Month has definitely decreased. I'm not seeing my grandchildren learn much in school about, you know, Black heroes or legends throughout the history of Black people in Western society and beyond. But I want to ask you something. Do you know that cliche that says a picture says a thousand words? Today, I want to talk about a Black hero that we don't really hear much about this hero. When they do talk about Black history, they'll say, like Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, the common known Black legends, but they don't talk about Eric Cole. And I said a picture said a thousand. I asked you if you knew that cliche that a picture says a thousand words because his pictures said a million words, you know? Between 1948 and between 1948 and 1994, the apartheid movement took place in South Africa. And in case some of us forgot, because they don't really talk about apartheid much, it was a thing of the 80s, but it actually began long before the 80s when I was going to school. So white people from Europe, like France, Belgium, Portugal, the Netherlands, even Britain, they all stormed into South Africa and brought about apartheid. Apartheid was basically legalized segregation. So these white people from different parts of Europe came into South Africa and decided that the Black people who lived there, this is their home, you know, decided that they weren't good enough to eat at the same table, use the same bathroom, drink from the same water fountains, be paid equal wages, and it wasn't even their home. What terrible guests were they, right? So along came Eric Cole, who was a very talented photographer. And you see why he's so a legend and so iconic is because through pictures he showed the world what apartheid was really all about, how much the people suffered during the apartheid movement in South Africa. And he captured things that words wouldn't be able to express, like people getting ripped from their homes, 6-year-olds being torn from their family members and being told to fend for themselves. That was the sort of torture that the South Africans went through between 48 and 94. Now you would think, gee, during apartheid, gee, when this ethnic group that went through torture and brutalization in Germany, they were rescued by France and the US. They fought against the Germans and liberated that particular ethnic group. Another tyrant coming out of Africa is Idi Amin, and he was from Uganda. When Idi Amin ordered all of the Asians out of Uganda, Canada sent down plane after plane to bring them out of Uganda to safety. I want to ask you, how many planes do you think was sent from Canada and the US to go and rescue the black victims of the apartheid movement? If you said zero, then I owe you a nice hot coffee. You done know. Right. So the United Nations and all these people, Margaret Thatcher, Ronald Reagan, they refused to, cut ties with South Africa. So they feel the pressure and know that what they were doing to the black victims of the apartheid movement was wrong, but they refused to budge. Now, because Eric Cole captured things that white people, the Europeans who took over South Africa, they seized the negatives of his photos and had them locked away in a vault in a bank in Sweden. It wasn't until after he died that his family was able to get some of them. I do hope that, if you really want to celebrate Black history and know just how much trauma that we've been through, not only in Western society, but in the motherland, our land. Africa is the continent of the Black people, it's where we all originated from. Just like how all the white people originated from Europe, Africa was ours. Now, in this day and age, especially here in Canada, they have laws such as anti Semitism to protect the ethnic group that went through torture at the hands of Hitler. We don't have any laws to protect us when people minimize the trauma and the sufferation our people has been through in the US, in our own motherland, in Africa, in Europe, all over the place. There's no laws to protect us when our sufferation is minimized and still ongoing today. Can you imagine that it wasn't until 1994 that the apartheid movement stopped? Now, some of us as Black people, the first thing that we're told by the Caucasians when they get mad at us, what do they say? Go back where you come from. You don't belong here. Well, did you people belong in South Africa when you tortured and even implemented, you made it legal for segregation in a home, in a land that wasn't yours? And I'm a Canadian and I'm seeing all the other ethnic groups that went through tribulation, where the UN swooned in and rescued these people. Nobody rescued us. Nobody's rescuing us today because we still face police brutality. We still face where they can take our lives on live camera, like the lady who was on a live because she was turning off a pot of boiling water, and they get away with it because there's some secret law, I believe, when they're at these G summit meetings that make it legal to unalive us. No matter where you are in this world as a Black person, we are a minimized group of people. But I'm speaking for Canada now. When do we get laws and legislations to put value on our lives, to put value and integrity when we're subjected to the same kind of verbiage and hate crimes? Why that ethnic group, it's illegal to engage in any anti-Semitism? What about anti-Black racist laws in this country? When do we get that? I know that we don't hear much about Eric Cole, but I'm hoping if you get a chance, go on YouTube and go watch Eric Cole Lost and Found. So I'm going to ask you one last time before I go. Did you ever hear the cliche, a picture says 1,000 words? I believe that it does. You done know. Bless up. Happy Black History Month.